Let's have some trivia fun and some chat. Hi everyone, this is Herb from World of Walt, and today we are going to have a little bit of time checking out some questions. I've got a chance to win a prize, and I'm looking forward to chatting with everyone. So thank you for joining me here today. Today is Saturday. It is the 28th, and the parks have been shut down for a couple weeks. So I've been looking forward to having a chance to chat with everyone. We can't go for the normal walk through the parks, but we can still meet here. So I'm looking forward to doing that with you all. Thanks for joining me. Carol Ann, good morning to you. And Mercedes, good morning. Thank you for joining me here on the Facebook Live, not from the parks, but instead from my home office. It doesn't take very long to wander around the home office. It's a pretty quick visit. So today we've got some fun things planned. I don't know how much the technology is going to cooperate. We'll see how that works. I also think that I look very shifty-eyed when I'm on this video. My eyes are kind of bouncing all over the screen, checking out what's going on. So pardon me for that. Ted from Chicago, good morning to you. Thanks for being here. And Marta, yes, you get to see me today. Here I am in all my living glory. I figure people are not tuning in for me. They're normally tuning in for the Disney fun, which is what it's all about. Brandy, hello to you. And Sandy, good morning. Thanks for being here with me. So today I've got some fun things planned. We'll see how they work. So I've got some questions that I want to ask, just because I'm curious on your thoughts and what's going on out there in your world. I have a number of fun trivia questions that we'll check out. It took me a little bit of time to research them, but I think they're going to be fun. I also have a giveaway that I'm going to be doing today, so get ready for that. It's a very fun trading pin, and I hope that we'll just have a good time chatting back and forth. So thanks again for joining me, spending some of your Saturday with me. Let's give it a shot, see how the technology holds up. So there are going to be a couple ways you can participate. One is that I'm going to try to post questions, polls as Facebook calls them, and you should get an option that you can select on your phone or on your PC, on your tablet. But you can also continue to chat in the chat bar as you normally do. So go ahead and try both of those things. We'll see how they work. If you participate in the poll where the question pops up on your screen, I think I'll get some statistics on the numbers of people voting for each option. Those are the trivia questions, and those are also some of the questions where I'm just kind of curious on what's going on with you. So looking forward to having this discussion with you. Beryl is on the line. Hi Beryl, how's it going? And Kevin's got a picture but no sound. Hopefully that's okay. Maureen from Hollywood Beach, thanks for joining me. I hope that all of you are doing well and safe. Okay, so let's try the first one here. I'm going to bring up my first question, and it's a very important one. Let's see how this works. So this has been my gauge of how close we are to the true apocalypse, which is, does your local store have toilet paper? So when I went about a week or two ago, I noticed that all the toilet paper was gone. That seems to be the big thing that is missing from stores these days. But I'm curious for you, when you've gone to your store most recently, has your store had toilet paper there, yes or no? So for me, the last time I went, a day or two ago, my local Publix, which is one of the big stores here, grocery stores here in Florida, it did have toilet paper. I was excited to see that. So I've got lots of votes coming in, which is kind of cool. Looks like almost 400 people have voted so far, so keep the comments coming in, keep the votes coming in for another minute or two. Very curious on whether or not your local store has had toilet paper the last time you visited. Okay, so it looks like the number of new results coming in has slowed down, so I'm going to try to share those results. I'm kind of curious if that's going to come through for you. But response was that 38% of the people said yes, their local store did have toilet paper the last time they visited, and 63% said no. Very interesting. Tony's saying he had 3-inch hail last night with lots of damage. Tony, I'm sorry to hear that. It sounds like very rough weather. Ann said no, the store in Edison was out. All right, so that's our first question. Let's continue on. Here's the next one. How long was Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway open? So that is the next question. Let me share that on the poll. Okay, thank you. All right, so that's the next question. How long was Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway open before it closed? So it seems like just yesterday that the attraction opened. It's actually been a while though, and I was very pleased that even though I didn't get a chance to go on the media event, I was out of town, I did have a chance to see it after the media event, but before it closed up. So today's question, how long was it that Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway was open? So the answers are coming in. Lots of folks are giving their response. Mike in the chat said 2 weeks. Charles said 5 days. Andy's asking for a plug for the Pin of the Month Club. So Andy, you get the award for that today. If you want a little bit of Disney fun delivered to your home every month, check out pinofthemonthclub.com. Nicole said 2 weeks in the chat. Charles, good morning to you from Austin. All right, so the answers are coming through here. I'm going to show the results, and 26% of the people voted 5 days, 67% of the people voted 12 days, and 31 voted for 7 days. So Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway was actually open for 12 days before it closed. Did not have a whole lot of time to get out there into the wild. So it opened up on March 4th, and then it closed down on the last day of park operations, which was March 15th for all the 4 parks at Walt Disney World. So didn't get to go very long. Jeff asked, are we going to get pins in April? Jeff, the answer is yes. I still do have inventory for the Pin of the Month Club to go for the next couple months. So I'm going to continue to plan to send out pins for as long as I can. At some time, I may not be able to do that because I get my pins from the parks and the parks are closed, but I'm good for a while, so look for some Disney fun coming in the mail. Jen said it's going to be crazy when Disney reopens that ride. I think a lot of people will be very interested in it for sure. So there was the answer, 12 days. 12 days that Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway was open. Didn't get much of a chance to be out there in the wild, but it is a really great attraction. For those many of you folks who have not had a chance to see it yet, I'm highly going to recommend it. Okay, let's take a look at our next question. This one's interesting. So, next question. Oops, before I get to the next question, sorry, I'll come back to this in a second. Okay, so who wrote the music for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway? So you got 3 different options you can select: Richard Sherman, Chris Willis, or Lin-Manuel Miranda. So who composed the music for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway? Richard Sherman, Chris Willis, or Lin-Manuel Miranda. So Richard Sherman, you might know, one of the Sherman brothers, with Robert being the second part of the pair, wrote many famous songs for Disney parks and Disney movies. Lin-Manuel Miranda was the star of Mary Poppins Returns, also a very prolific composer, has written a lot of very powerful songs, including all of those for Hamilton. But the person who wrote the music for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway was actually Chris Willis. Chris Willis has composed the music for the Mickey Mouse shorts, the new Mickey Mouse shorts, and he's also the one who composed the music for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Heather, who covered the media event for the opening of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, actually had an opportunity to interview Chris Willis, which I'm very excited about. It was quite an honor that our site got to check that out. So Chris Willis, a very up-and-coming composer, doing a lot of work with the Disney company. It would not surprise me if 20 years from now we look at Chris and we say, Chris is the new Sherman Brothers, a very talented young composer out of the UK. Okay, so now I'm going to jump back to the opportunity to win a prize. If you'd like to win a prize today, I'm giving away this pin, which says Cuddle Party. It's a really fun pin, and I've got one available. So if you'd like to win this pin, shoot an email over to me. You can send it to info@worldofwalt, and in the subject, put the word party. So if you'd like to win this Cuddle Party pin, send an email to me, send it to info@worldofwalt.com, and in the subject, put the word party. Missy says, nice to see and hear. Thanks very much, Missy. Appreciate that. Rachel said it's a cute pin. I really like that pin. I think it's a lot of fun, from the Finding Dory movie, I believe. Sarah said, can't cuddle now. This is true. Well, I guess if you're in a group of two with your family at home, that's okay. Jessica, hello to you. Thanks for joining the live broadcast. A little bit different this time. Not wandering through the parks like I normally am, but we're doing some fun trivia. I'm also interested in what's going on in your world. Barbara said the pin's adorable. Thanks, Barbara. Appreciate that. Yvonne said so as well. Really enjoy this pin. It's a good one. Okay, so we already had this question about who wrote the music. Okay, so here's the next question I would like to ask of everyone. I'm curious, are you under a government-ordered quarantine? So I know many areas of the country are, New York and California. Here in Central Florida, where I live, not too far from Walt Disney World, the two counties that compose Walt Disney World are Orange County, which is the bigger one that contains downtown Orlando, and then Osceola County, which is to the south. So here in Central Florida, both Orange County and Osceola County are under a government-ordered quarantine for at least a couple of weeks, which definitely means that Walt Disney World is not going to be opening at the end of the month. So curious for you, are you under a government-ordered quarantine where you live? I know a lot of folks are choosing to stay home, maybe have to stay home because work is not operating, but curious for you. So Sarah said Chattanooga, a lot of places are closed. She's staying home. Jill says yes. Timothy in Ohio has a stay-at-home order. Valerie in Indiana says also a stay-at-home order for essential travel only. That's the same for me too. Cheryl says, love it. Wonderful to finally put a name and a face. Thank you, Cheryl. Appreciate that. I know people are tuning in for the Disney fun and not necessarily for this mug, but hey, why not? We're going crazy. These are crazy times. Beth Ann said under a stay-at-home order. Paula said today is her first day for staying at home. Deb says going to celebrate birthday alone. Deb, I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm glad you can join me here today. Okay, so it's interesting to see the results from the poll here. And thanks everyone for joining the poll. Really appreciate that. So 65% of folks said yes, they are under a government-ordered quarantine or stay-at-home order. 33% said no. Jeffrey in the comments said not forced yet, but have until 8 p.m. and need to limit movements. Melanie said, finally see the guy behind the curtain. Yes, this is me. My mug is all over the website at worldofwalt.com too. Leah said, in Lakeland, not at a stay-at-home order, but only going out when necessary. Bridget said, in Quebec, Canada, everything is closed down. So that's what things are like here as well. Yeah, people are just not going out, and more government orders are coming out. Here in Florida, it seems to be happening at the county level, and other places like New York and California, I know it's at the state level. Cynthia said, has a stay-at-home order in Lima, Peru. Very interesting. Have some colleagues in Europe and in India who are also under order as well. Andy said, will the park close affect the 50th anniversary? I don't know. That's a very good question. My guess is there's going to be a lot of scrambling as people get a better perspective on what things are going to look like. So many things are uncertain right now. It's just hard to say. Okay, next question. What do you need in order to ride the Rise of the Resistance? So do you need a virtual queue reservation? Do you need a FastPass Plus reservation? Do you need a boarding group? Or do you need lots of luck? So this is a little bit of a tricky question and maybe also open to some interpretation. But the question now, what do you need in order to ride the Rise of the Resistance? Rise of the Resistance, the new e-ticket attraction, an amazing attraction at Disney's Hollywood Studios and also at Disneyland in California, was open for a couple months before the shutdown. It is my new favorite attraction. It really pushes the bar and makes things, makes a new standard for what Disney attractions and theme park attractions can really be. Valerie says a boarding group and some good luck. Janice said you need all of it. Barbara in the chat is saying a boarding group, so people are voting right now. Jeffrey also said boarding group and lots of luck. I think you can only vote for one item, but it's kind of fun to put the lots of luck in there anyway. So yes, you sort of do need lots of luck. You need to get there early in the morning. You need to get there before all of the what's are gone. All the boarding groups are gone. But this is a little bit of a trick question because there have been some eagle-eyed people who have noticed the Disney Parks app has changed some of their wording in the most recent update of the app to talk about virtual queues. And it could be that Disney is working to expand the use of the virtual queue product. They may have been doing this even before the shutdown, maybe in looking towards some new attractions that are going to open up. But it will be interesting to find out if Disney is going to add the virtual queue option to more of the attractions and not just the Rise of Resistance with a boarding group. So a lot of people got this one right. 74% of the people said a boarding group. 5% said lots of luck, which is true. You definitely do need lots of luck. 3% said Fast Pass. At this time, Fast Pass is not available. But in the future, we may see the concept of the virtual queue for the attractions at Disney World. So very interesting. Brandy said because of a rider swap, oldest daughter has ridden 5 times. Wow, that's awesome. I got to go about 4 times as part of the media event and really enjoyed it. Christopher said I had to cancel the April trip and rebook to October. I think there are lots of folks who are making arrangements and changing things up for their trips. Okay, so next question. I am hoping that the technology is continuing to work here properly. Doesn't seem like maybe the video is changing, but we're going to keep on going. We'll see. All right, so next question. I'm going to publish this poll right now. How long was Oswald the Lucky Rabbit gone from the Walt Disney Company? So Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, you might know, was a creation of the Walt Disney Company way back in the 1920s. And Oswald the Lucky Rabbit actually was taken away from Disney by Charles Mintz, who holds a famous place in infamy at the Walt Disney Company. But Michael Eisner worked to get, I think it was Michael Eisner, yeah, worked to get Oswald the Lucky Rabbit back. But he was gone from the company for a long time. He changed hands a number of times, was part of Universal Studios. So how long was Oswald the Lucky Rabbit gone from the Walt Disney Company? You might know the story that Oswald the Rabbit came back to the Disney Company as part of a trade for Al Michaels. Al Michaels was traded away by ESPN, a Disney-owned property, and in return, in part, Disney got back Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. So a little bit more detail, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit made his first appearance in 1928, and he came back to the Disney Company in 2006. So Oswald was gone for a total of 78 years, if you can believe it. Oswald was gone for 78 years. So 6% of the people said 14 years. 55%, most folks said Oswald was gone from Disney for 51 years. But the correct answer that 39% of the people got was 78 long years that Oswald was gone. But he's back in part of the Disney family now, so that's a lot of fun. Nicole said we're kind of going in and out. I'm sorry to hear that. Tom says that Oswald still looks great. Yes, he does. He's a character that has really held up well. So a lot of fun. Glad that Oswald is back as part of the Disney family after 78 years. Okay, lots of great comments in the chat. Thank you for doing that. Chris said we really need a Lucky Rabbit. This is true. It's good to have a fun character like Oswald with us these days. Robert said the poll didn't show. Sorry, Robert, about that. I think the poll's a little bit flaky. The technology isn't so great. I see that a number of people were able to join in on the poll. So for those of you who have worked, thank you for participating in it. Going to see what we can do to move on to the next one. Ted said, we missed me. Thank you very much. Do I have a cold? No, I don't think so. Mike said, I think the confusing thing about the question is that people don't remember Walt passed away a long time ago. This is true. This is true. Dory said, working great. Thank you so much for that. Cassie's having an issue with the poll as well. Okay, we'll keep marching forward. I will continue to read the poll questions, and if the poll pops up, please do participate in the question. And I'm also interested to hear your comments on the chat area. So another opportunity, same thing here. If you didn't catch this earlier, you have a chance to win this pin, which says Cuddle Party. It's a really cool pin. I picked it up at the parks before they closed down. This is from Finding Dory, I believe. If you'd like to win this trading pin, send an email to me. Send it to the address of info@worldofwalt.com, and in the subject line, put the word party. You need to submit this email even if you've done it in the past, if you're interested in this particular pin. And I'll be accepting entries by email through Tuesday, March 31st. So this Cuddle Party pin up for grabs. If you'd like to get it, send an email to info@worldofwalt.com, and in the subject line, just put the word party. You don't have to put any additional information in the body. Just put the subject of party. Marta said I should make a quarantine t-shirt. That is an interesting idea. I'm hoping that by the time the shirt was out, this whole thing will be over, but we'll see how it goes. Leah said, thanks for a bit of Disney fun today. You are very welcome. I really appreciate your joining me. It's fun to have everyone here, so thanks for that. Okay, here's the next question. Let me get this on the poll. So I'm wondering, are you changing your plans for a Disney visit because of the Disney shutdown and the quarantine? So the Disney parks are closed, have been closed for a couple weeks now. They are going to be closed for at least several more weeks. The counties here in Central Florida closed down until April 9th, so that would be the very soonest they could open. I don't think anybody, Disney, the government, anyone really knows what things are going to look like after the next few weeks. But I'm curious for you, are your plans changing to visit Disney because of the coronavirus? Bruce says, thanks for all I do. Bruce, thank you. That's really nice. Diana said, already made a change. We're supposed to be there last week. Jen said, had a cruise book in January. Hopefully we'll get on it by then. And I agree with you. The Disney Cruise Line cruises are amazing. Diana said, just got back the weekend before they closed, so no plans as of now. Jeffrey said, next trip was not planned until after Thanksgiving. And I think you are right that the world should be back to normal by then. Troy says, we're supposed to be there for anniversary and son's birthday. I'm sorry that didn't work out. I'm sorry to hear that. Okay, so the results for people, looks like 38% of the people said yes, their plans have changed for visiting Disney due to the coronavirus, but 62% said no, their plans didn't change. Jen said we're supposed to go on May 1st and rescheduled for December. Laura said planning to go to Disneyland at the end of September before a Disney cruise. Wow, that sounds like a nice double dip vacation. Okay, so great to hear from everyone. Thank you for sharing your information about your plans. So here's the next poll. This one sort of ties into something that happened on the internet this week. So this week, the folks on the Disney Parks blog posted a video of the Dapper Dans releasing a song, and it's actually a song they sang from home and put together on video, and it's available now to watch on the internet. If you haven't seen it, head over to worldofwalt.com. Look for the Dapper Dans video on the first couple pages. It's actually a really encouraging video, a lot of fun, and very cool to see a lot of the folks who are part of the Dapper Dans back in action, if not on Main Street USA, then at least on a video format. So they did one song, and then the next thing they're asking what songs you might like to hear next. So hopefully we'll be getting some more performances from the Dapper Dans, at least on the internet. So the question, though, this week is, what was the song this week that the Dapper Dans released on a video with a sing-from-home format? So the options are When You Wish Upon a Star, the Disney Medley, the Disney Medley, and When I See an Elephant Fly. Roberta said the Dapper Dans rock. I agree with you. Valerie's voting for When You Wish Upon a Star. Diane said it was cool. The song that the Dapper Dans released this week was When You Wish Upon a Star. So 59% of the folks got that right. 36% said the Disney Medley, and 4% said When I See an Elephant Fly. So it's interesting that Disney is asking for you to vote what might come next. So that suggests to me that Disney is going to try to do some more songs here on video format. The voting is open now at the Disney Parks blog. The three options you can vote for would be Grim Grinning Ghosts, When I See an Elephant Fly, and the Disney Medley. But it was great this week to get When You Wish Upon a Star. Fun presentation of that song. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, I hope you get to do so soon. Linda is giving the Dapper Dans thumbs up. I agree, they are great. Helen said she missed it. You can still go over to worldwalt.com and look on the first few pages. You'll see a page that shows that Dapper Dan video. Barbara said, surprised to see some of them had mustaches. Thought Disney had a policy about men being clean shaven. So the Disney policy for men, I believe, has changed recently, where if your beard or mustache is well trimmed and grown in, you are allowed to have it. And maybe the Dapper Dans might have had it even as part of their uniform, I'll say, before that. Kathy loves the Dapper Dans. Leah's going to vote for Grim Grinning Ghosts. All right, we're going to close this poll out. We're going to try another one here. So next question. Let me get the poll up so we can do both parts at the same time. Looks like the technology is cooperating at least to some extent here, so we're going to keep on going. This week, Disney's Animal Kingdom released a photo of the birth of a baby animal. What animal was born recently at Disney's Animal Kingdom? So Disney's Animal Kingdom, you'll be happy to know, the caretakers for the animals are still able to go in. Disney actually published a video of that recently. So Disney wanted to make sure that everyone knew that the animals are still well taken care of. And I would imagine there are a lot of zoos and aquariums all across the U.S. and probably across the world that have the same situation. The animals still need to be fed and vet visits still need to happen. But this week, Disney made a special announcement about a new creature that was born at Disney's Animal Kingdom. What was that animal that was born? Linda said, this is fun. Linda, thank you so much. I appreciate your joining in. Hope you're having a good time at home. I hope everything is all right. Dorothy said it was a cute picture, so we'll have to see it in a second. Okay, so most everyone got this one right. 82% of the people said that it was a zebra that was born at Disney's Animal Kingdom. So here's a great picture of the zebra and the zebra's mom. Look like they're having a good bonding time. So a new female mountain zebra was added. She was 65 pounds when she was born. And like zebras do, she was up on her feet within just a few minutes of being born. So exciting to see that some things continue on as normal around our world, even when things are going crazy. All right, Brenda said, love to see the animals. Ellen said, very cute. It is fun to see that things are still operating in the animal kingdom the way they do. All right, so it's not a trivia question, but it's a question where I am curious about your opinion. I've had people ask me, and honestly, I've got a guess, but I don't have a well-informed opinion, but I'm interested in what everyone here thinks. When do you think the Disney parks are going to reopen? So it could be, well, I've got several options here. I've got April, I've got May through June, or after July. So I'm curious for you, when do you think the Disney parks are going to reopen? Jeff asked a really good question. Have the construction projects at the parks stopped? So the answer is yes, they have. There was some wondering, some curiosity on whether or not the construction projects might be able to continue on because they might be able to get a lot of extra work done. Without all the crowds there, they don't have to worry about routing people and some safety issues that they do when the parks are full. But it became clear, given the government orders shortly after the Disney parks closed, at least here at Walt Disney World in Florida, that small groups were no longer going to be allowed. And the number of groups size, the allowable group size continued to go down and down. At first, there were suggestions in California for 250 people, and then it became 50 people, and then 10. And so in time, it was clear that you can't really have much of a construction project with just 10 people. So as best we can tell, all construction projects at the Walt Disney World Resort have closed down. And now that Orange County and Osceola County in Central Florida have a mandate to stay at home, all projects are for sure closed down. Eric, hello to you in Ohio. Hope you're doing well with the stay-at-home order. Julie said May through June, but have a trip planned for June through July. So she's got a bias. I hope that we have sooner pictures rather than later, but we'll see. Marta said option was June for July, but May, not so sure. All right, so interesting what people are saying here. So 7% of the people said April, so not a lot of hope that we're still going to see the parks open next month. The majority of folks, though, 68% said May through June, and 25% said after July. Beryl said, hope you realize you're going to have to keep doing this on Saturday mornings. We'll see how this one turns out. It was actually a lot of fun to put together. I was a little bit concerned about how the technology might work, but I can tell based on votes coming through that the technology is working. So I'm pretty excited about that. And I always enjoy the comments going back and forth. So please keep those coming, and thanks very much for participating. All right, I think we are ready for our next question. We actually have a couple more questions to go, so here it is. This one's a little bit of a trick question. We'll see how everyone does. The new nighttime spectacular still to come at Epcot will be called what? The new nighttime spectacular that is still to come at Epcot. Will it be called Illuminations 2.0? Will it be called Harmonious? Or will it be called Epcot Forever? So again, a bit of a tricky question. Illumination shut down some time ago, so for those of you who are huge Illumination fans, I hope you had a chance to see it. It really was a classic Disney nighttime spectacular. It had a good long run. I will miss Illuminations, especially the music. I think it had some of the best nighttime spectacular music, and it was also created in a different time and place when Disney was not so focused on making sure that characters and intellectual property were an important part of everything that was going on. So Illuminations, we will miss you, but we are also looking forward to what comes next. Joe said, would rather have lives like this until you get back in the parks. So thank you very much for that. Rachel said, this is fun. Please do it again. Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see how this goes. I may do this as the fill-in. Lisa said the music was great for Illuminations. I think she was referring to John is voting for Epcot Forever. This is a bit of a tricky question. Jeff said, you're doing great. Thanks for going live. Jeff, thank you. I appreciate that. I am not used to being on the front of the camera. And like I said, I wasn't quite so sure about how the technology was going to work. Kenyatta, I'm sorry, I'm probably not saying your name right, says, do I work for Disney? Nope, I do not. Never have. You never know what the future might hold, but that's not the case now. Stephen from Wisconsin, thanks for joining us. Okay, so it looks like the answers are settling in for this one. The new nighttime spectacular still to come at Epcot. What will it be called? 9% of the people said Illuminations 2.0. 55% of the people got it right. The new nighttime spectacular that is still to come at Epcot will be called Harmonious. But the nighttime spectacular that was at Epcot when the parks closed was called Epcot Forever. So Epcot Forever premiered on October 1st, 2019, and the latest announcement that Disney had made was that Harmonious is going to be coming sometime in 2020. But at this point, it is hard to say if that's still the case because all the plans all over the world, and at Disney World as well, are really up in the air. So we will see if Harmonious still comes in 2020. It's probably too hard to say at this point. Once people have a better understanding of the timeline for things reopening, we'll get more of an idea. So Epcot Forever was there when the parks closed, and Harmonious is supposed to be coming sometime in 2020. We'll see if that happens. Diana says, thanks for bringing some Disney magic at home. Diana, very happy to do that. Appreciate your being here. Velvet said, I agree. If it works for you, it'd be fun to continue until we can get back at the parks. Thank you for that. Rhonda said, nice to join some Disney people. Jeff said, if I could work for Disney, what job would I want? Ooh, that's a tough one. I might want to be the next Joel Rohde. So he's like Imagineer extraordinaire, getting to run a lot of the projects. I don't have the management talent, probably, and definitely have the artistic talent of him, but that would be a fun job to have. Troy is asking for the shameless plug for the Pin of the Month Club. Troy, thank you. If you want to have a little bit of Disney fun delivered to your home every month, check out pinofthemonthclub.com. Okay, here's our last trivia question for today. It's a good one. Now, no fair going to Wikipedia to find the answer because, you know, this is a trivia question. It's one to guess at. Marie shared, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Nadine said, next week tour celebration. I thought about doing that actually now that there's a stay-at-home order and you're only allowed to travel for essential items where I live. I'm not going to be able to do that, but maybe sometime if the stay-at-home order is lifted, but the parks are not yet open, that might be a chance. Suzanne says, missed the post. Thank you, Suzanne. Appreciate that. I miss being in the parks, but I'm glad I can be with you here today. Still publishing lots of articles over at worldofwalt.com. So if you are looking for some Disney fun, that's a good place to go check out. Okay, so the question is, how long is the rock and roller coaster track? We've got about 16% of the people saying 2914. 56 saying 3403 and 29% saying 3915. Sandy said really enjoys this broadcast. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Chris has got a t-shirt idea. Even when the parks are closed, it's still not Saturday until Herb goes live. I like that idea. That's kind of fun. It's sort of like the post office. No matter what, we'll see if we can get a Facebook Live out here. Stacy said, thanks for doing this. Enjoying it a lot. Thank you, Stacy. Appreciate your being here. Joe says, loves the trivia. Joe, thanks. I'm glad that you're having a good time. I'm having a good time too, actually. All right, so this is the question. How long is the rock and roller coaster track? Let's get the answer up here. 3,403 feet. So people did a great job on that one. 54% got that right. Jill said this is fun. Jill, thanks. I appreciate your being here. Roberta said she'd be a security guard. I think that's with that comment. An undercover guard. Yeah, those are the folks where if you pay very close attention when you're walking into the parks, you can see usually a few people hanging out with earpieces who are just sort of hanging out, looking around. Leah said it's been a lot of fun. Thank you so much. Appreciate your being here. All right, so that was the last question. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. It was a lot of fun to chat with you again. I hope you enjoyed the trivia questions. Not quite as good as being able to wander in the parks, but it was a lot of fun, and thanks for participating with me. Again, I'm giving away the Cuddle Party pin, so if you'd like to win a pin this week, before this coming Tuesday, March 31st, send an email to me at info@worldofwalt.com, and in the subject, just put the word party, and I will enter you to win. I'll also make sure to add you to the World of Walt newsletter if you don't get it. Every Monday, the newsletter comes out, has a great recap of all the Disney news from the past week. So a great way to keep in touch. So I'm continuing to post lots of articles over at worldofwalt.com. In fact, a couple videos were posted to the site in just the past few days, including that interview with Chris Willis for the opening of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and an interview with the Disney historian that covered a lot of history about Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. So if you haven't been there lately, go check out worldofwalt.com. And I've also got a YouTube channel, so if you haven't done so, head over to YouTube, do a search for World of Walt, and then subscribe. You'll be able to see those Imagineering and Composer videos over at YouTube as well. So thanks very much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. I hope that you and yours are safe, and I just pray that we will be able to get through this coronavirus pandemic soon, that maybe we'll have a medical breakthrough, maybe we'll have a slowdown in the spread, and that we can all get back to our normal day-to-days soon. Emily says, thanks, it was a blast. Thank you, Emily. Appreciate the kind comments. Claire said in the UK, Saturday afternoon lockdown. Lee from Long Island, thanks for joining me as well. Robin said, rewatching the YouTube videos. Robin, thanks for doing that. I'm always happy to post those over. Hopefully, if the technology holds up, this video will post both to Facebook and to YouTube. We'll see how that goes. All right, Kristen, thanks for your comments. Eric, take care to you as well. So everyone, I hope you have a great weekend, a great Saturday. And until next time, God bless.